I always wanted to serve on a jury.
I'm really super excited to be here, so I really appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to it.
I want to give a big shout out to the 13th Jury Podcast and Brandi.
Yeah, I applaud you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
And then I just look to the jury, and it's sort of like, look.
Hey, if you're bored of work, come pop in and say, hey, we'll have some coffee.
You are a ray of sunshine, and I love what you've done with your YouTube channel.
Okay, can you see me and hear me now? I'm having all kinds of problems. All right, hold on. Let me try something else. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. That for some reason, happy Friday. Good morning. I took a nap yesterday when we finished. Well, I took a walk on the beach with Lucy first, and then I took a nap when we finished. And then I woke up last night and I was like, man, I know that my people love when I'm able to put their chats on the screen. So I sat here last night and worked on it, and until I could get it, because I wanted that for y'all. And for some reason so I was working on some stuff, and for some reason my camera got stuck on the picture of me from last night. I'm glad it wasn't an inappropriate picture. That'd have been real embarrassing. But look what I can do. It took a lot of work to figure it out. But I know that was the one thing that y'all were did not like about the new stuff. So I spent a few hours last night and I got it set up. So I now officially can show comments on here. Yay! Yay! No telling what. It's a really good thing. that I wasn't sitting here all inappropriate last night, because if that screen grab from my camera would have come up and I was sitting here in my skivvies or something, that'd have been real embarrassing, huh? Anywho, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Are y'all excited? Yeah. That feeling that when you finally figure out how to get your computer to do what you want to do is priceless. Yeah. Like I'm working out the kinks, y'all, but I'm learning it. And this has been, the one thing that I've really wanted to be able to do that I have not been able to. So this makes me very excited, to be able to finally get this part down. So, that's like the last big part. So anywho, I had to change a whole bunch of stuff, but I figured it out. So we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, it's real hard to try to teach yourself how to use the internets. So, but here we are. Here we are. We made it through. We're here. And we made it through the week. With only minor tech issues, right? Storm's coming in and just put on taco soup. Ooh, taco soup sounds good. Oh, that reminds me. I have breakfast somewhere. I forgot to eat. Me and Lucy had to go pick up some medicine this morning, and I stopped and got food because I don't have anything here. I have to go grocery shopping this weekend, and I forgot. I have food in my purse. Oh, it has been a week, y'all. It has been a week. Taco soup sounds really good. We have storms coming in here too, which will be interesting. We're supposed to get another round of really bad weather here today. The Gulf right now, let me pull up, let me show y'all. We'll do a little beach cam for y'all. Let me pull up the beach cam that's right down the road, right down the beach from me. Goodness gracious. Also, other stuff is happening. What else is happening? I feel like there's so much. I am sleep deprived, and I am still half asleep. So, oh, good. The dog from yesterday is doing good. Oh, thank God. You know what's funny? Like, I said this yesterday, because we watched the beginning of it before I sent y'all over to Mel to finish it out so I could go do my thing. But I sit here and watch murder stuff all day, and of course that stuff is very heavy and it's difficult, you know. But man, you put a dog, something wrong with a dog on there, and I'm like, Lucy, come here and let me hold you. Let me come here and let me hold you. Oh. Oh. But that's okay. All right, let me pull, what was I pulling up? Tired today. What was I pulling up, y'all? Oh, beach cam. My brain. All right, let's see. Uh-oh. Is beach cam down? Nope, here it is. Okay. We got beach cam. So you can see how foggy the beach is right now. Oh, look, the sign is still down from from storms blowing everything over. So you can see how foggy it is. So we got some storms coming in, but hopefully it's not going to be as bad today as it was on, what day was that? Tuesday ish, I think. I don't know. My week has run together. It's been quite a journey. So, but we got movement in the courtroom. I'll bring this back up in a little bit. We'll bring it back up in a little bit. Right now, there's not a whole lot to see. And the less I have on my screen, the better right now, because I'm still trying to get all this stuff down. So, learning my new system. But we're getting there. I appreciate y'all coming to hang out today. I am curious to see what day 2 brings. I know that some of the motions that they filed yesterday, they had said that they may be, going to have to listen to them today and make decisions on some stuff today, because some of the stuff that they said wasn't relevant yesterday, or that they weren't going to be talking about, they said that they will be talking about it today. So I can't remember which one it was. I think I had it in my notes, but whatever one it was that they said that they weren't going to, because there were a few things, that they said that they weren't going to listen to yesterday, and they would kind of take it as they came. And one of them was today, so that we might have to hear some more hearings this morning. Let me get my notes out. But then we got some more exciting stuff. Let me minimize this. But I want to get my notes out, because anything that happens today, we don't want to miss it. All right, let's see. History. And y'all will be so proud of me as I'm waking up. Sorry. Y'all will be so proud of me, because I did finally make a TikTok yesterday. Finally did. Oops. Oh, yay. Look, I can show these now. Daddy420, thank you. Let's start this Friday out right with giving to the cause. Love you, 13th, your peeps. Choo choo. Oh, thank you so much, Daddy420. Thank you. I appreciate it. You the best. I am so glad I'm able to do this one now, because I love being able to really focus on y'all and some of y'all's thoughts and some of what we see and hear. And I love being able to highlight your stuff too, and then just say thank you, of course. So yay, we can show it now. But thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. True Range, here comes a train. Choo choo. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yay. I love being able to show them. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any of them, because now I have to get used to seeing this screen too. But we're gonna learn all this. We're gonna learn all of it. I'm gonna learn me some internets if it kills me. Thank you, True Crime Ranch. I appreciate it. Happy Friday to you. Let's see. I'm under a blizzard warning. Melanie Schuler says I'm under a blizzard warning until tomorrow in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wow. No blizzards here, thank goodness. I think that Florida is one of only 3 states that's not supposed to get snow today, which is crazy, isn't it? Holly Mac, thank you for the super chat. Choo choo. Choo choo. Thank you. Good morning. Hello. Welcome, come on in. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to move stuff on here, make this easier to see. Okay. I'm gonna wake up, y'all. Last night was not as easy of a night as I would have liked. All right, definitely winter is everywhere. Good morning, hello, hello. Mechanism says, broke AF, but choo-choo. I'm just glad y'all are here. Congratulations. Thank you, Brandi, for going on TikTok. I am so proud. I made it. And I didn't even, my kid was at work. Like I had to do this one on my own. So it's not quite as good as the one he helped me with, but I tried to do it exactly how he said. And it took me forever trying to remember how he said to do it, which should have been the most simple thing. But we're going to get there. I told you, I'm going to learn these internets. I'm going to learn them. Justice Obsessed, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandi, you are amazing. Thank you for everything you do. Choo choo. Thank you, Justice Obsessed. Thank you, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you. Mandy Davis, love all of you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. I love that I can show them. It's like this. It's the simplest thing, learning something new, but like I think I'm most excited about it because I know how much it meant to y'all to have the, like, that was one of the things y'all liked, is being able to highlight the comments. I was determined to do it. And look, we did it. It's like such a strange thing to be so excited about, but it's such an accomplishment. Oh yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, and let's hope Brandi reached 15K. Let me check my numbers because we inched up some yesterday. Nancy D, following the train. Choo choo. Thank you so much, Nancy D. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Pilo, oh, it's moving. Pilolo's mom, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Because you're so loved. It's the best community. It is the best community. I know I'm biased on that, but it really is. I love our people. I love y'all. Be Kind Tiger, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you too. Oh, y'all are the best. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Y'all are awesome. It feels like 2 degrees where I am. Thank God for electric blankets. Wow. Oh, that's one thing I don't miss about Ohio. Yay, Juror, for 8 whole months. 8 whole months. I'm sorry, Miss Johnson. 8 whole months. Those are harder to see. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to highlight those so I don't miss them. If I miss those, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to figure out how to highlight those more. Those are harder to see. Fur Baby's mom, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Andre Hill said, oh gosh, no, stop moving. Stop moving. Hold on, hold on. I don't want to miss anybody. It's moving. I'm missing stuff. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I don't know how to go back up. Oh no. Steven, thank you for the super chat. I missed something. Betsy Jean, thank you so much. I love my 13 Juror family. Oh my gosh, y'all are awesome. It's going so fast. I missed them. I'm so sorry. I'll have to go back and I got to figure out how I can go back on this screen and figure out who, oh gosh, it's Little B. Thank you so much. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Kimberly Elms, thank you so much. All aboard. Shoo, love you, Brandi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, y'all make a Friday morning the best. Lindsay Hendricks, choo, thank you so much, Lindsay Hendricks. Thank you. Oh, I love y'all. I'm so glad to be here. Leah SM, thank you so much for super chat. Thank you. I hope I'm not missing some. I'm trying to see them. It's hard to see everything. I've got to figure out how to filter some of the Streamlabs stuff so I don't have to see that. Melissa Ann said, I really don't know how to TikTok. Me neither. But I learned. I just learned. It's like a old dog learning new tricks. Very exciting. Marilyn, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Choo. Thank you so much. Dino420 says, thank you for the super chat. It says, don't forget to like and give some love to our mods. Oh, our amazing mods. Our mods are the best. The absolute best. Best there is. They keep this show on the road. Thank you. Aaron Morgan, thank you so much. Joining the train. Thank you so much for super chat. Thanks for giving me a home. P.S. It's my birthday tomorrow. Love this fam. Happy birthday, Aaron. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. That's exciting. I love that. Everybody's singing to you right now. You can't hear them, but just know that everybody's singing to you right now. I would, but then, like, our viewers will go, like, pfft, real fast. Okay, let's see. Oh, Stephanie Willis says the fairly large package I sent you should arrive tomorrow. I am going to go to the post office tomorrow. I will go up there tomorrow. So I appreciate that. I will do that tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Hellcat. I love hanging out with you all. Brandi, thank you for all the things. Thank you for all the things. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Y'all are very generous this morning. That is very sweet. I'm just glad y'all are here. Y'all are the best. All right, let's see if I can... I'm learning this. I really am. I'm learning this. Okay. Oh, no, what happened? Okay. Oh. JMO, thank you for the super chat. Choo Choo, thanks for all you do. That rhymed. You're a poet. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Bring the judge. Yes. I know, they're late today. For our judge, that's always like, I say always as if we've been with him forever, but he's like super punctual. Be Kind Tiger, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh, y'all are so sweet. I appreciate it. Chrissy Bacon says because I have FOMO. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh gosh, it's moving again. Beach Gal, thank you for the super chat. Linden, South Carolina. Beach Gal in Linden, South Carolina. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you. This one, I have to figure out how to filter out Streamlabs so that I can see just y'all. Mercy, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Oh, yay. Tosh says happy birthday, Aaron. See? You can hear them singing if you listen closely. Do we still have our sounds? Let me see. Yes. Some of them. I had to use my Stream Deck. I had to move some of it so I could use it for different things, but I still have most of them. I have the most important one. That's the most important one. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Anne says, love your channel, Brandi. Thank you so much. I love you too. And you've been a juror for 2 whole months. It flies by. Megan's been a member for 8 whole months. 8 whole months. Happy anniversary. Oh, wait. It's our anniversary. Happy anniversary to you. CT Girl 5150. Choo choo. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Truly, y'all are so sweet. Y'all are very generous. K Scarpetta. Choo choo. Love you, girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gosh, what a Friday. We're off to a good start. Got all these anniversaries. A very sweet train. Following from snowy southern Wisconsin. Gosh, how much snow do y'all... I bet y'all get a heap ton of snow up there. I have almost 8 whole months on this jury. 8 whole months. 8 whole months. One of the OGs. Gosh, I wonder who the first 1-year anniversary person is going to be that we're going to have on stream. I'm going to have to give out like a hoodie or something for that. Like the very first 1-year mark. I got a free coffee. Coffee tastes better when it's free. 8 months, like, we're getting there. Like, that's getting there. 8 whole months on this jury. Holly, member for 6 whole months. Love this family here. Holly, we love you too. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. This is the most fun, seeing everybody like excited to be here and stuff. That's my favorite. I love this community. Be Kind Tiger, thank you so much. Brandi looks blue to follow Choo-choo. Thank you so much. I know everybody says that I should wear royal blue. That's like my color, so I try to, but I end up wearing a lot of black. Thank you so much. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I need to check the numbers. You're right. Let me do that. We're getting there. We're getting close. So close. Oh, y'all didn't hear the sound on the thing?
Yesterday regarding
the anniversary sound?
Presumptive blood tests that were conducted by Detective
Tina,
Riley,
thank you for the super chat.
that he will be testifying to today. So that needs to be addressed prior to his testimony.
Thank
I
you.
don't have volume from them yet.
Are you ready to call your witness?
Thank you.
I am, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bring the jury in, please.
Christy G says, I have FOMO too. Love it here, Choo-choo. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. We need a denied buzzer. Yeah, I tried to do that yesterday too, and I couldn't do it. It took me too long to do this, and then I did try to do that, and I couldn't do it, so I got frustrated, and I couldn't. Why don't I have audio? Or is that all? Make sure it's something I've messed up.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We resume today with a state witness. And this is
Good morning, true crime friends.
If I may, Your Honor.
Pearson, correct?
But I'm back.
Yes, Your Honor. Sergeant Jamie Pearson.
I don't have audio.
May I approach the clerk, Your Honor? May I approach the clerk?
I know you thought I was dead.
Oh.
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell it for the
I
record.
can't.
Sergeant Jamie Pearson, JAMIE PEARSTON.
And
Sergeant,
your
you may be seated.
affiliation?
Fix mine on
Connecticut State Police, Western District, Major Crime.
Thank you.
You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good.
You currently work with the state police?
Yes.
Okay. And your current rank, please?
Sergeant.
How long have you been a sergeant with the Connecticut State Police?
Lynn, thank you so
Approximately
much.
2 years.
If I may just, thank you. Could you please describe some of your training and experience with the state police?
Yes, I was hired in 2008. At the time, I attended the State Police Academy. I have received extensive training throughout the course of the academy, as well as outside institutions, to include interview, crime scene processing, scene mapping, photography, evidence collection, blood pattern analysis, various other things.
Are you with a particular division or department within the Connecticut State Police?
Yes, Western District Major Crime.
And do you specialize in any, specific part of major crimes?
Yes, I'm currently the supervisor of the crime scene van.
When you say crime scene van, can you just briefly explain what that is?
Yes, each district is assigned a van unit, which is comprised of detectives that is responsible for processing crime scenes, to include scene documentation, photography and such, as well as analysis, interpretation.
And you are currently the sergeant for Western District?
Yes.
In 2019, what was your role?
I was a detective within the same crime scene van unit.
How long have you been working in the van unit total?
I began in 2018 as a detective and assumed command upon promotion.
And which was when?
2021.
Thank you. I'm going to draw your attention specifically back to that May 2019 timeframe. Did you have an occasion to respond to 69 Wells Lane in New Canaan?
Yes.
Do you recall when you responded?
I responded on the 27th.
Was that the first time that you responded there?
It was.
Okay, so you did not go on the 24th or 25th?
No.
Okay. What was or why did you respond there?
I was tasked with producing a scene map as the continuation of scene processing was extended to the 27th.
Was anyone from New Canaan Police Department on scene when you arrived?
Yes, there was a marked cruiser securing the scene.
And who else from the Connecticut State Police was on scene with you?
Myself, Lieutenant Colonel Davison, Detective Riley, Detective Hazen, Detective McGavin. I believe that was it.
And you mentioned a sketch map. Is that what could you just explain what that is?
Yes, we take measurements from the scene to produce a map which would depict spaces, whether it's size of a building or the room, the crime scene in question, as well as evidence in its relation to the scene.
In this case, what did you mean by scene?
I was tasked with mapping the garage of 69 Wells Lane.
What's the purpose of a sketch map?
We want to memorialize the location of evidence, as well as other items. It could be furniture or things of interest, things of value.
And you mentioned a few names of individuals who were with you. In the course of going through the garage, or what were their assignments?
Lieutenant Colonel Davison was called in to assist with the blood pattern analysis. Sergeant McGavin was the scene officer, so he produced a scene report. Detective Riley was responsible for evidence collection, and Detective Hazen took photographs.
And you mentioned a blood pattern analysis. What is that?
It's when the blood presented is analyzed and interpreted.
Are you trained in blood pattern analysis?
Yes.
Is that in any way connected to reconstruction of a crime scene?
I am not trained to the same level as others. I have a basic understanding and knowledge of blood stain.
You did not conduct the blood pattern analysis in this case, did you?
I did not.
Okay, who did?
Lieutenant Colonel Davison.
Now, have you worked with Lieutenant Colonel Davison previously?
Yes.
About how often?
I began on patrol in 2008 with, at the time, Trooper Davison, but I've known him throughout my entire career, and when I joined Major Crime in 2013, he was in the unit, and we worked together throughout that tenure.
Now, in the course of creating a sketch map, are there certain steps you take?
Yes.
Could you just walk through some of those steps that you do?
Once the items are items of evidentiary value, I should say, once they are identified, I produce field notes where I am measuring them in to the scene and memorializing it in a note pattern. I then take the notes and put it into a report and produce a actual map utilizing Easy Street Draw, which is the program.
What types of tools do you use when you create the sketch map?
Various things. In this case, I used a laser distance measurer as well as a steel measuring tape.
Like Kid, your Honor states, 8, I believe, is a full exhibit. No objection?
That's correct, no objection.
Case 8 will be admitted as a full exhibit.
I may just have 1 minute to sign in here.
So loud. They're so loud. Good morning. Glad joining us.
May I inquire, Your Honor, and of the clerk, if the televisions are on?
No.
May I just have a moment, Your Honor?
They're on there.
No, there's. Yes, Your Honor. Sergeant Pearson, if you can please take a look at what is conveyed on the screen behind you. And if I may, this is States 8, Picture 1, which is actually a PDF. And Your Honor, I will say this is with respect to Sergeant Pearson, I have to alternate between PDFs and photographs, so it might not go as smoothly as I hope. With respect to what's behind you, Sergeant, if you can, do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
That is the first map of 8, which is an overall of the garage located at 69 Wells Lane.
Now, you talked a little bit about taking measurements and utilizing a ruler and a tape measure, I guess. Is that a way to say it? Thank you. Can you walk us through, perhaps explain how you use those tools to create this map?
Yes, in this case, I used a rectangular coordinate method, which is the method where you have 2 steel tapes on the ground in this instance, and they intersect at a right angle to determine a distance from 2 known points. In this case, it was the footings of the poured cement garage floor.
Would you mind, please, Your Honor, may I ask her to go up to the screen and point? Thank you. Sergeant Pearson, can you please head on up? When you say the footings, what do you mean?
Around the perimeter, there's approximately 3 1/4 inches of cement that protrudes to the interior of the sheetrock walls.
And do you have a marking next to that, and you have an arrow directing it? This is in the bottom middle of the PDF. And a number on the top says 3.25. What does that mean?
That's the approximate measurement of that protrusion of cement.
Okay. Could you please explain on the, working your way from left to right, if you could just explain some of the markings. You have A, B, C. What is that?
So these were evidentiary zones that allowed us to segment the garage into a more workable space. And then I was able to take measurements from each evidentiary zone and elaborate or blow it up into a larger map.
With respect to the, zone G, why is that in the middle, or why is that depicted like that?
So G contained a vehicle at the time of processing, and we mapped G with the Range Rover in place as found by detectives.
And D, E, F?
Same as A, B, and C. It was in the southernmost garage bay. It was split into 3 evidentiary zones.
On the upper right side, or I'm sorry, not even upper right side, but on the right side, there is an arrow that has a number. I think it's 21, starting with 21. Can you just explain what that is?
Yep, so this is the interior dimension from wall to wall, which would be east-west in a measurement of 21 feet 1 inch.
Did you measure from, it would be north-south as well?
I did, so from north to south, footing to footing, the interior measurement was approximately 33 feet and 11 inches.
Now, you also have writing on the left-hand side, and I'm putting my cursor on it over here. What does this mean?
This is part of our map legend, which is generally included in every map that we produce, and it includes the case number,
the date, the type of case, the location, my name and signature, as well as the scale, north arrow, and whether or not it's one of the series.
Now, there's a marking right in, I guess, grid B that states area of convergence. What is that?
Area of convergence was determined on scene through measurements of the blood stains found relevant to this investigation. It's where a line is drawn through the long axis of each blood stain, and where those lines intersect in a two-dimensional plane is what's called the area of convergence.
Did you determine the area of convergence in this case?
I did not.
Who did?
Lieutenant Colonel Davison.
Is the area depicted on the map conveyed at the area B where it says area of convergence? Is that documented where that area was determined to be?
Yes, approximately.
Okay. And up here on G, on the, I guess, top middle, what is that supposedly supposed to depict?
That was 2 wooden stairs that left the garage floor and entered a entry door into a mudroom of the home.
You can have a seat, Sergeant Pearson. Did you map any other part of the garage? Or, I'm sorry, not the garage, the residence?
I did not.
On States 8, picture 2, Sergeant Pearson, if you can just take a look behind you. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
That is the northernmost garage bay of 69 Wells Lane.
And I also see an A, B, C. What are those markings?
Those correspond with the evidentiary zones that we just saw in the map in that left or northernmost bay.
Did you conduct this, by the way, did you put the yellow marking tape down?
I did not.
Okay, who did?
Lieutenant Colonel Davison.
Was that done before any seizing of exhibits or documentation of any exhibits that were found in the garage?
On the 27th, yes.
And
thank you, Mildred. They got a lot of sirens around there, don't they?
I'm going to draw your attention to right behind you. Again, Sergeant Pearson, do you recognize what's depicted on the screen? This is States 8, picture 3.
Yes.
What is it?
This is a blowout of evidentiary zone A in that northern garage bay.
Would you mind also getting back up and pointing to a few things? I apologize. Thank you. Okay. On the, I guess, right middle, there are these dots with a letter and number, A18, A17, A16. What are those supposed to represent?
So items that are listed not as an exhibit. So for example, 18, 17, and 16, as well as 15, 14, 13, and 12. Those are items that were used for blood pattern analysis. Not necessarily exhibits unless it states next to it.
So with respect to A18, and then there's a parentheses, exhibit number 41, parentheses, close parentheses, what does that mean?
That is a piece of evidence, so seized as exhibit 41, but also utilized in the bloodstain pattern analysis.
So with respect to any documentation on your map that has a letter and number, it is only the ones, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, that have the exhibit next to it that were seized as exhibits in this case?
Yes.
And the others were used for reconstruction?
Analysis, yes. And the A corresponds to the evidentiary zone.
Okay. I may see, I'm going to do States 3, photograph 4. And if I can, do you recognize what's depicted on that photograph?
Yes.
What is depicted in that photograph?
This is evidentiary zone A.
Okay. Now, when something is seized as an exhibit, is it set as you delineated on your map? Or is there a corresponding, I guess, a sticky or marker tag or placard that is used on that to document on the scene?
Yes, so typically if it is an item of evidentiary value, it is either noted by a yellow evidence placard, it could be a sticky scale which has the exhibit number on it, it could be an arrow, something that could later be photographed and then mapped in to the scene.
Dates 8, picture 5. Sergeant Pearson, can you please explain what's depicted on States 8, picture 5?
This is evidentiary zone B, also in the northernmost bay of 69 Wells Lane.
And on the left-hand side, there are those numbers, B11, B10, and B9. Is that similar to what you just testified for in A?
It is. So again, items used for analysis within the B evidentiary zone are assigned B and a numeric. If it was used as evidence, we included the exhibit number.
Now, there are exhibit numbers here, if you can, that have a box or square, I should say, as opposed to a circle, and no letter enumeration. It just says exhibit 43. Do you see where I'm pointing out?
Yes.
Can you explain that for me?
This is an item that was seized from evidentiary zone B, however, not utilized for bloodstain pattern analysis.
Okay. And does your map on B also show the area of convergence designated by Mark Davidson?
Yes, on the right-hand side of the map.
Dates 8, picture 6. What does this depict?
This would be evidentiary zone B with exhibit 42.
Okay. And picture 7?
Evidentiary zone B with exhibits 42, 43, and various sticky scales that I referred to earlier.
And you pointed to the bottom right as an example. Is that an example of what you were saying designated as a exhibit or a marking that was used for reconstruction? Here.
These may have been, I can't quite see.
I can scroll up.
Yes, so that's an exhibit. It looks like, I can't tell.
It's a little blurry.
Yeah, 58 or 38,
but if I can refer you back to your garage B map, would those, the stickies that you're pointing to, would they have correspond with you're pointing to B3, B4, B5?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna show you States 8, picture 8. Briefly, if you can explain, please, what's depicted in that photograph?
Yeah, this is evidentiary zone C with items for analysis and exhibits of 69 Wells Lane.
The 9 on the bottom, down here, I am putting my cursor over it. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
That is a 9-foot wide garage door, overhead garage door, traditional garage door.
And it's the 3 on the left-hand side?
That is a 3-foot window.
And States 8, picture 9. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the northernmost garage bay, evidentiary zones A, B, and C.
And the zone marked with C, is that corresponding with your map?
Yes.
I'm going to show you States 8, picture 10. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
Evidentiary zones D, E, and F in the southernmost garage bay.
Did you map those sizes as well?
I did.
Okay, States 8, picture 10. Do you recognize what's depicted on the screen?
Yes.
What is it, please?
Evidentiary zone D with the relevant exhibits seized.
States 8, picture 11. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
Evidentiary zone D.
Now, on picture 11, States 8, actually going to zoom in a little bit. There are these, I guess, white, backwards L-shaped things. If you can just explain what those are.
That is a scale typically used in photography to photo evidence and have a standardized scale in the photo.
States 8, picture 12. Do you recognize this photograph, please?
Yes.
What is it?
Evidentiary zone E.
And States 8, picture 13. Could you please explain what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes, it's a photo of evidentiary zone E.
States 8, picture 14. Same question, Sergeant, if you can.
Evidentiary zone F.
Now, did you, in the course of creating these maps, document every single thing that was seen in the photographs, the preceding photographs that I showed you?
No, I documented and measured in items of evidentiary value or items utilized for blood stain pattern analysis.
With respect to some of the markings that are, well, strike that if I can. States 8, picture 15. Do you recognize what's depicted here?
Evidentiary zone F.
Now, with respect to items that are seen in this photograph, is every single thing that has either a white L-shaped ruler or other marking contained in your map, States 8, picture 14. I'm going to put that up again. If you put the two side by side, it may take me a while and I might break my computer if I attempt to do that. But is everything contained in that photograph contained in your map?
No.
Okay. Oh, why is that?
The items, if we refer back to the photo, there's items nearest the trash can that have the large L scales. We just discussed those appear to be transfer type stains, but not seized as evidence or utilized in blood stain pattern analysis.
So with respect to some of those transfer type stains or markings in the garage, did you document those in your sketch map?
No.
Were those documented otherwise?
In photography, yes.
States 16, I'm sorry, it's States 8, picture 16. Show you picture 16. Do you recognize what's depicted on the screen?
I'll be right back.
This is evidentiary zone G.
With respect to exhibit 67, is that related to a actual exhibit?
It is not. Originally, an item was designated as exhibit 67 and subsequently photographed and mapped in. And it was later learned that it had been relocated and not seized as an exhibit. Therefore, I submitted an additional addendum map to correct that.
With respect to exhibit 67, do you know where exhibit 67, was there actually something that was delineated 67? Should say that.
On this map?
No.
Yes, so 67 was seized from the northern garage door, the interior side of the garage door.
And States 8, picture 17. What does this depict?
This is the vehicle that was located in evidentiary zone G with, it looks like several exhibits on the side as well as exhibit 44.
And when you conducted your analysis with respect to creating the map, the vehicle was in place?
Yes.
Okay, you can have a seat, Sergeant. Thank you. With respect to any of the evidence that was collected on 69 Wells or in the garage, did you have anything to do with the evidence collection process?
No.
With respect to the Land Rover or Range Rover, actually, that you see on the screen behind you, did you have anything that day or anything to do with the evidence collection process with the Range Rover?
No.
Okay. With respect to a Chevy Suburban, are you aware there's a Chevy Suburban related to this case?
Yes.
Were you involved in the processing of that item?
Yes.
Okay. What day were you involved in that?
We traveled to New Canaan Police Department that following day, so the 28th.
And what was your assignment with respect to the Chevy Suburban?
I took the inventory of the Suburban.
By inventory, what do you mean?
We document the vehicle as found by Western District Major Crime detectives, and we inventory the items seized as well as the condition of the vehicle and some like mileage, damage, things like that.
Would that also include any blood spatter or anything that is, I guess, evidence processing? I don't know if that's the correct way to say it, but would it include it, if you can understand the question?
So that day we did process the vehicle fully, but the inventory does not contain evidence in that report.
What is the purpose of doing an inventory report?
We want to document everything that was found in the vehicle so far as like personal belongings, or I mentioned damage, mileage, things like that.
In the course of conducting the inventory search of the 2017 Chevy Suburban, did you determine if there were any WeatherTech liners in the vehicle?
Yes.
What do you mean by WeatherTech liners, or what are we talking about? So we're on the same page for what a WeatherTech liner is.
Yes, it's a custom formed, but it's a hard rubber mat that protects the vehicle floorboards, interior vehicle floorboards.
And were those custom mats inside the vehicle?
Yes.
Where?
The front left and front right had individual ones, and then there was a very large mat that spread from the second row passenger to the third row rear passenger. One large mat.
Was there a WeatherTech liner in the trunk of that vehicle?
No.
Nothing further, thank you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Amanda Hager. Happy anniversary.
Good morning, Sergeant Pearson.
Good morning.
I think we've spoken before.
Yes.
I just have a few questions about what you did at the residence in New Canaan. When you placed, there are a couple of pictures I just want to ask you about, and if I would ask that if we could put up just for a minute Exhibit 10A, and if you just look back there for a second.
We don't have a 10.
It's numbered, it's the Exhibit 8, but it's, 10. This is 10A from Exhibit 8 that you were just showing a little bit. And I'm just going to ask you if you would please explain. There is the yellow tape that's placed on the measuring tape. Is that in inches or in centimeters?
I believe it's just inches. I don't recall if the other side has metric measurements. I'd have to look at it closely.
Right, and you're aware of the fact that if it's metric, there are approximately 2.54 centimeters to 1 inch. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. You'll take my word for it.
I will.
All right. Can I zoom in a little bit, please, on the yellow tape measure, please? Zoom it in. And of course, it's a little bit blurry, but you can't tell from here whether it's inches or centimeters. Is that right?
It appears to just be inches.
Okay. And then there's the little, could zoom out again, please. Now, you also made reference to some of these white tapes. And again, I'm just going to, I'm referring to, we're talking about these little white items such as what's on the blown up image now. Now, we can't read this in the blow up, can we?
I cannot.
So let me go to, let's go to Exhibit 11 and see if we can see it any better, please. And for the record, this is garage D. This is the section of the garage that you called, I think, D, correct?
Yes.
The portion? All right. And if we can look at, there are a bunch of these little white tapes down there. If we could just slightly zoom in on the white L-shaped portion. Let's do the larger one there. Now, there are little numbers that do appear on this photograph. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell whether those are in inches or in centimeters or millimeters for that matter?
I'm familiar with the largest of the two scales, and that is metric. The smaller may have, it looks like it's all metric. Okay. And do you recall whether the numbers are, the number you see marked centimeters or millimeters? I'm assuming centimeters, but I'm asking you. Yes, centimeters. The smallers would be millimeters.
All right. Now, if you look at the bottom right of this blow up there, where you see the yellow tape down at the bottom there, and again, I'm just going to, for the record, these appear to be centimeters as well, do they not?
I believe they're inches.
Okay, fair enough. But if you compare the yellow to the white, you'll see that the measurements in yellow are, of course, where each number is larger than the number of spaces with the lines up on the white part. Is that correct?
Yes.
So just for the benefit of me, so if we're looking at the red mark that I'm now circling here, that's between the L shape of the white centimeter markings. Could you just describe, based on those measurements, the approximate size, and again, I'm not going to ask you to get up there and measure it, but how approximately sized do you see this red mark there? Approximately how long that is and how wide it is?
I'm merely guessing, but a couple inches, possibly.
Okay. All right. And if you would now please go to number 17 on Exhibit 8, please. And you indicated that you marked the something on the ground there under the tire, that you placed that yellow marker on that in that photograph, correct?
No, I did not.
Can you just tell us who placed the markers?
I would guess the evidence officer did that.
Right. So when you say you guess, you weren't there when that was done. Right?
I did not see that, no.
Right. So you didn't have a say in which places markers would be placed,
no.
Right? So you come in there, on this occasion, at least at the garage, to document what someone has already done with regard to the yellow placards.
Yes.
What about the white? We have a couple of those same white markers on the side of the Range Rover, correct?
Yes.
Did you place those?
I did not.
So as I understand it, what about the yellow measuring tape in inches that's marking off the quadrants?
I did not place those.
All right. So someone else, do you know who did that, by the way?
The yellow tapes would have likely been Lieutenant Colonel Davison. The evidentiary items with the white scales or yellow placards, likely the evidence officer,
Okay.
Detective Riley.
But again, you weren't there for that, so you don't know.
I was there. I didn't do it, though.
But you don't recall seeing who did it. It's 4.5 years ago.
No, I do not recall.
All right. But did anyone direct you on what to take pictures of on that occasion?
I didn't take any photographs.
No, I'm including the ones we're looking at right now. You took that one, didn't you?
I did not. I didn't take any photographs at 69 Wells. I simply mapped the garage.
I misunderstood. You only did the measurements.
Correct.
And you used the measurements for your map design, which we saw, correct?
Yes.
So, and so I'm clear, of all the photographs that you were shown and you were asked to describe, you took none of those.
I did not.
The measurement maps that we have, you documented what was already in photographs that someone else did. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you added it to your various maps that we saw, right?
I did not. The state did. It's not in my report. I simply included the maps and my narrative in my report.
So when you say the state did, I'm not sure I understand. What do you mean by that?
I think it was prepared for court that way.
Oh, but did you not prepare the actual PDF maps that we just saw?
Yes, just not the photographs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You didn't have photographs interconnected with those, with your maps?
Correct.
You just did maps?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Is there a redirect?
No, sir, thank you.
Or did you make that step?
Thank you.
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't get and I was trying to get.
Your Honor, if I may have a brief 5-minute break just to set up the computer with respect to Detective Riley. He is my only other witness for today, but there is some documentation the state wishes to show him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a matter of setting up for the next witness. We would ask that you return to the deliberation room. Please do not discuss the case.
Do you want me to call them up on my computer?
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's just me, but I don't think that any of that was...
The court's order is that there be no photos taken for which we can hear a click. That is not permitted. So if you can muffle the click, that would be in compliance with the order.
Oh, interesting.
Do we have to take up the argument on the motion to preclude presumptive blood testing at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. If I just have a moment to...
I love his tie. Isn't he fancy? Yeah, they said 6... Oops. I gotta get used to the clicking on this one. They said 6 weeks for the evidentiary part, and then defense will present their case. So, it'd be a minute.
It's my understanding that through this witness, the state is going to try to introduce at least 3, perhaps 4, because I went through this last night, photographs of the glow of either luminol or Kastle-Meyer, which is shortened in some documents to KM, which is the reagent test, the presumptive test for blood. I had cited in my motion State versus Moody. I also cited the New Jersey appellate court case of State versus Pittman and the Arkansas case of Young versus State, which were subsequent to Moody, that all stand for the proposition that the presumptive test for blood, whether they use luminol or they use the Kastle-Meyer product, is some kind of an aerosol spray that reacts to different substances. One of the substances is blood. There's other fluids that do, but also certain kinds of cleansers do, certain rust products do. There may be I saw one article that listed 30 things that react to it. Now, I'm not sure, other than what the state mentioned yesterday, the idea that it should come in just so that the state can explain why certain pictures were taken. We're about to see, I didn't count them all, but about 40 photographs that cover all of these same areas. We've already seen pictures of drops of blood, alleged blood, or blood-like stains from both the Suburban and from the garage. We also had the video that showed and there were zoom-ins of the same thing, as well as the body camera showing something that was a blood-like stain. Now, State versus Moody addresses two issues, and the case that was mentioned yesterday, the Grant case, and there are a couple of other appellate court cases. There were two issues in Moody, and I want to make this clear because the state has kind of conflated the two issues. The first issue in Moody was whether or not a lay witness or anyone else, a police officer, could imply that something looked like blood, and whether a lay opinion was appropriate in the absence of confirmatory testing. Both in Moody, there's another case called Whipple, State versus Whipple, where they discussed that, and then in Grant, they explained the difference between the findings in Moody and Whipple and in the Grant case, where it wasn't about luminol, it wasn't about this presumptive blood testing, it was instead about whether a lay witness can say, it looked like there was a pool of blood, the person was bloody, etc., and that was the issue in those later cases. I think I emphasized yesterday, I don't want to have to re-quote it, but the Supreme Court specifically, the Supreme Court of Connecticut has specifically said that there is absolutely no probative value whatsoever in the presumptive testing. And therefore, the fact that they took some additional photographs, which we're going to have every inch of these vehicles being photographed anyway, because there's a presumptive test that glowed, is going to confuse the jury. And I'm going to explain, it's not just going to be about here. Later on, when they do the presumptive test of the glow, the luminol in the Tacoma, it wasn't blood at all. It's not human. It's not organic. So it's the only possible reaction of this jury is they're going to be thinking that somehow, the fact that this it glowed in the blue light, there must be more blood there. There's as the court is well aware, there is not very much blood at all on either scene, either on the Suburban, which now the court has seen, or in the garage. So the danger here is the prejudice is the jury's going to think, oh, well, there's more because this spray makes it look like there was even more that we're not picking up. But in both cases, as far as I know, when they tested it, it was when it went to the lab, it was not blood. But when we get back to the issue at hand, since it has no probative value under Moody, and the issue has to do with whether or not it's going to either be confusing or in some way prejudicial, if they're going to try and introduce it, then I insist that we have a Porter hearing. Because if the court, I thought it's already been decided that it has no value, and a lab person down the road may testify to that, but in light of your ruling from yesterday, if the state doesn't ask a subject matter, I don't get to cross-examine about it, and only if I decide to put on a case in the defense case would it even come out. And so, in following the court's rulings and the way the court wishes to proceed, we're talking about 3 or 4 pictures today through Detective Riley, or I don't know if he's now a sergeant, but he was a detective at the time, and asking in the question why he took certain pictures, which I submit is irrelevant since they took pictures of everything and documented everything. So in light of the decision in Moody and in the case of State versus Whipple, where there's such a strong view by the Connecticut Supreme Court that has no probative value, and they use the word whatsoever, that it will only lead to prejudice. And I submit that the argument that, well, they can distinguish Moody, not on this issue. There is not a single case that I could find anywhere that said that it had probative value at all. That is, we're talking about this reagent spray test, had any probative value whatsoever. But there's a lot of not only danger or prejudice, but confusion. What's the jury going to think? what's the court going to instruct the jury? That it has no value and we're only putting it in because that's where the officer wanted to take pictures? There's like 40 pictures we're about to see from Detective Riley. The whole car, the 3 pictures where they use the blue light to do that, or the black light rather, and it looks blue in the photographs. There's no explanation for it. There's no legitimate basis for it. So on those bases, I asked the court to preclude, again, we're talking about 3 or maybe 4 pictures out of 40 which are going in. I could also argue cumulative, but we don't even get to that in light of the fact that there's just such danger with this particular misunderstanding and misapprehension for what's essentially junk science. There are a lot of things they could. I'll give you one last example and I'll sit down. There could be a situation where a police officer conducts a polygraph test and said, yes, polygraphs are not admissible, but based on what was said, I then went and did X. But of course, the Supreme Court has said you can't bring in polygraph for any reason because it's not reliable and has no probative value. So to use that as the reason for conduct by a police officer in this case would certainly be more prejudicial than probative. And it's also not necessary for the state's case to prove their case. I just have 1 minute. I've also been reminded that in Moody, the court talked about how that particular piece of evidence had an impact on the jury. And that's why the Supreme Court was so adamant that it's not admissible because it has no validity in either science or in the law. Thank you.
So first, Attorney Schoenhorn, the court wants to understand what the nature of the testimony may be from this next witness. So this next witness took photographs, is that correct?
No, that is not correct, Your Honor. If I may interject, the next witness didn't take any photographs. The next witness is the evidence officer who determined which items in the garage to seize as exhibits and or document as evidence. He authored an evidence report or exhibit report, which indicates every item that is documented on Sergeant Pearson's map. He is the individual who made that decision in connection with with Lieutenant Colonel Davidson to examine those items. He also, if you look at the exhibit report, did KM testing on around 30 of those exhibits, Your Honor, some of which, about 4 of them came back negative. He documented that as well. There are about 3 or 4 photographs the state intends to introduce as well with respect to the luminol that was done on the car that counsel is referring to, but it's not by itself what this detective is testifying to. He's testifying to the content of the photographs, not taking them. So just to be very clear on that.
Well, what is his testimony expected to be?
His testimony is going to walk through the garage, identify the items that were seized as exhibits in 69 Wells itself, in the house.
So let the court interject here. His testimony is going to be what items were seized that were of evidentiary value, correct?
And what he did when he processed the scene, yes.
Let's just talk about what he decided to seize.
Yes, Your Honor.
So his testimony is going to be he decided to seize what?
With respect
to this
the presumptive test. Yes, Your Honor. He worked in connection with Lieutenant Colonel Davidson with respect to the blood pattern analysis that was done. He seized various swabbings of various blood spatter that was found, including some of the exhibits. He tested them for using the KM test. He then swabbed them, the process of swabbing them, and logging them as exhibits in this case.
Again, the court has to ask this question. What he did was swab those areas of that vehicle or garage floor, correct?
He swabbed those areas and he performed the KM test. And then they were subsequently sent to the lab. He is part of that chain in command. That is the nature of the testimony presented, Your Honor, with respect to the presumptive test.
So he is going to be asked, the court assumes, that he did not take the photographs, correct? Because Attorney Pearson did not take the photographs.
She did not, and the state did not offer them as a photographer. I offered them as a representation of what the map was. And
well, the only way, counsel, that the jury knows what was or what the garage floor looked like was through photographs.
Yes.
The only way that your next witness can testify about what he swabbed is because we saw the photographs.
Those, and there are more photographs that the state intends to introduce. He will testify to each one if necessary. If counsel is objecting to those photographs coming in, then I will lay a foundation for each and every one, utilizing the screen and asking him if that is a fair and accurate representation of what he observed that day and what he sees as evidence. I have no problem doing that, Your Honor. I did not do that, by the way, with Sergeant Pearson, just for the court, because counsel did not have any objection to the photographs coming in to save time, but I will if that is what is needed.
Well, the testimony is going to have to reach the point where he says he swabbed this area because.
Yes.
And that's where this issue arises, correct?
If I may just clarify and actually bounce off what counsel said, what we discussed yesterday, and I believe the court order ruled an issue on, is the fact that the police officer can testify, or even lay witness can testify, that something appears to be blood-like. That would be the start of the testimony. Then I believe Detective Riley will testify as to, once he determined that it was blood-like, what his next steps were, either to swab it or test it for utilizing the KM test. So it's a link in the chain after. So just to keep those two issues separate.
Well, just to phrase it colloquially, he's going to testify, it looked like blood to me.
Yes.
Next, he's going to indicate that it was swabbed because it looked like blood to him.
Yes.
And also he performed a presumptive test, correct?
Yes, but just to qualify that, Your Honor, I don't believe that the only reason it was further swabbed and further steps were taken was simply because of the look of the item. It was the entire concept or the facts of the case, including the fact that we have Jennifer Dulos is a missing mother of 5 who dropped her kids off from school and never returned home, including the fact that it all happened in her home. The blood was positioned in one location and made it more likely that it was blood. There were numerous factors going into his decision. So it is a little more nuanced than that.
Well, counsel has indicated that there are a number of grounds on which he believes that a lay witness should not testify concerning the presumptive test.
I think it's the interpreter.
Now, what counsel laid out, and the court is just indicating what it understands from the argument. First, it may confuse the jury. Second, is that it was prejudicial. Well, the issue is not whether it's prejudicial, it's whether it's unfairly prejudicial. So what the court is going to do is review State versus Moody and any related cases. And we have to take a recess for that.
And if I may, Your Honor, I would ask the court to review State v. Grant, which is 286 Con 499.
286 Con 499.
Yes, sir. It's a 2008 case, as well as State v. Downing.
State v. Downing?
Downing, DOWNING, 68 Con App 388, 2002.
The citation again, please.
68 Con App 388, 2002 case. And of course, the state would always yesterday I referred to State v. Schaefer, which is that 1975, 168 Con 309. So I would ask the court to review those. And then after, at some point, the state would like to be heard on the motion, on the legal analysis side of it. I would just ask the court for that time when the court is ready.
One other matter that we don't have to talk about this second, but what I just heard Attorney Manning say is that they're also going to suggest that the reason certain pictures were taken because of all this hearsay that he heard. So they're going to do a narrative about what they think their theory is, which again is not necessary. This is the evidence technician who gathered evidence. I was also under the impression, based on what was said, that they took photographs at the same time. But if they didn't, I'm not going to object to the other photographs coming in through this witness. They obviously, whoever took them, and there are multiple detectives who took photographs at various points. I'm not going to require the author of those photographs because any witness can say, is this fair and accurately represent what it looked like when you're in there? So I'm indicating that for the record. However, asking to explain why he took certain photographs so we can get into multiple narratives about the hearsay about the case, when all he needs to say is, I went in there, I had information, and I took photographs. What he heard about the case is not relevant to his actions. And it would also involve the confrontation, my right to confront and cross-examine about whatever he was told, whether it was accurate or an inaccurate, where this witness won't be able to say. And I just think it'll take us on a little detour, unnecessary detour through allegations that were being made in the media and from other individuals. So I just note that may be part of what's going to be heard. I just don't know.
Can I just clarify again? This witness did not take the photographs. Counsel keeps reiterating about why photographs were taken. It's not the state's intention to offer testimony that Detective Riley ordered those photographs taken because the photographer meant to take that specific photograph. It's the actual exhibit seized.
Fair enough. I will amend my remarks. The fact that he took certain swabs does not depend upon the nature of the investigation in terms of what he had heard about what had happened in the days before he got there. He was assigned to take it looks the way it looked. He took certain swabs, and then it went to the lab. I have no objection to any of that. It's this prejudicial notion that we have to get into either hearsay or worse, junk science as a basis, which the Supreme Court has said easily confuses the jury, especially since we won't be hearing from the lab until at least a week from now, as far as I know.
If I can, Your Honor, just clarify a few things here. And again, I would like to be heard on the law. So at some point I would, so before we get back into cases, but just to make sure that the record is very clear that the detective with his training experience is going to testify, and this is the offer of proof, about why he took a swab. It's not just because of the color. Otherwise, we'd be taking ketchup stains everywhere. It is because of his training and experience and his interpretation as the evidence officer. He has a right to that testimony. With respect to the law, I will reserve my argument for when Your Honor deems fit.
Thank you. Well, it is clear that the evidence officer was summoned to 69 Wells Lane because there was a missing persons report. So one could claim, well, that's hearsay.
I'm not objecting to that, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is going to take some time for the court to review these cases. So, of course, the court would allow the jury to go into a recess at this point anyway. But we're probably not going to come back until 12:15. We'll stand in the recess until 12:15.
All rise. This honorable Superior Court now stands in recess until 12:15.
Well, dang. Sorry, I'm going to start pressing buttons. So now they're going to go over all of this. It's a little bit over the top, though, isn't it? Doesn't it seem a little over the top? Like, to go through this much trouble about the luminol pictures and stuff, like, to me, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like the presumptive testing and pictures, because here's my thing. The investigators get up there and talk about their investigation, right? Like, that's what they do. They get up there and they talk about their investigation. So if they're saying that he's going to get up there and say that he swabbed this because of this, that's part of his investigation. That's how he got from point A to point B. So he's not just going to be like, yeah, I just randomly went in there and just started swabbing stuff. You know, like, that's not normal. So, place pin message. There we go. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't think it just doesn't seem like as big of a deal as he's making it out to be. Like, that's not going to be the thing that the jury's like, oh, there's a whole lot more. And if this is the way that this plays out, where they argue every single thing like this, could you imagine? This is going to be one of those that is fought like hard. Ask CSI. It's in the job description. But see, that's the whole thing of like, and that's why I don't understand why he's making such a big deal about the presumptive testing. Presumptive testing can be positive for cleaning products and stuff like that, yes. But presumptive testing is presumptive. It's just the first part. You know, it's like, okay, this tested positive, so now we'll do further testing to see if it's blood or not, and if it's DNA and all of that. So to me, I just don't see it being as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. Here, let's just watch beach. We'll watch the storms roll in on beach cam while they're arguing. It'll de-stress us. Rob McNamara, good morning, everyone. Hello, and thank you for the super chat. Hello. Oh, I forgot to do this. 1:30-ish. While they discuss. I'm trying to make notes of timestamps, because people keep asking me if I can timestamp the videos, and I forget while we get going because I'm not already doing 700 other things. So I did, I am trying. It's not working out too great. All right, that's okay. Let's see. Kimberly says, Brady, I don't necessarily agree, but I think the defense is trying to say that the evidence guy is not a blood expert, so he shouldn't have been the one to decide what was swabbed or photographed. But see, like, and I get, like, they're talking about, like, he's going by pictures and stuff, I don't know. To me, I feel like this is a lot of extra time on something that's not such a key part, but what do I know? I'm not a lawyer. Ms. J says, Brady, will you be covering the Murdaugh trial or the Murdaugh hearing on the 16th? Okay, so here's the thing about the Murdaugh stuff. They have made I've got to try to look into it. I'm going to text Mandy Matney this weekend and ask her about it. They've put in an order that says that unless you are part of their jury pool, or not jury pool, oh Lord help me, the media pool, and have a representative there in the courtroom as part of the media pool, then nobody's allowed to stream it. So all of us who normally stream all of that stuff, it is not copyrighted because it's for a media pool, but it is licensed through Court TV. So anybody who wants to stream it, unless they want to get hit with, fines and whatnot, basically can't, or has to pay licensing fees to Court TV, which is BS. But I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out today. But I know a lot of people will do it anyway. But there's also a lot of people who... I saw a thread on Twitter about this, and somebody was saying... I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying that they're going to be reporting like YouTubers that are doing it or whatever, because it's not fair for people who paid for something for the media pool or something. And I don't know. I don't want to risk it if I can't figure out a way to do it legally. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Rona says, I think the defense is saying photos of a substance that didn't test positive for blood shouldn't be shown to the jury, and I agree with them. Yeah, on that part, I agree. I mean, because if it didn't test positive, then it's not. A big deal. Let's see. I'm getting better at reading this as opposed to what I'm used to reading. Look at me learning. Look at me learning. Luminol is used in all investigations for the presumption of blood. Yes. Yes. I agree that gatekeeping trials is BS, but I'm going to talk to, I have some friends in the media pool, and I'm going to talk to them this weekend and figure out what the deal is. Yeah, it's like 10,000 per, what did they say, like seconds or minutes or something? It was something like ridiculous. But whatever. What about the use of cleaning supplies tested? So remember when they had talked about the luminol or whatever it was, or maybe they used the other one. I can't remember which one they used. But they said that they tested it in the car in the Bryce Rhodes trial, and they said that the presumptive test was positive, and then, of course, it ended up being negative for blood. But we were like, okay, well, bleach and stuff like that can also test positive. So, because those can show, like, different things like that can make it show positive, which is why they do further testing. If it's positive and they do further testing, then it'll come out that it's not. But I agree, like I do agree with the part about if they're saying that it's, it was positive on the presumptive testing, but negative on further testing, then yeah, like I agree. Like there's, no point in showing that. Yeah, $10,000 a second. That's what I thought. That's what they tried to do with one of the other ones too. I can't remember which one it was that I couldn't show because they were doing that. $10,000 a second. It's crazy. And there's no way I can afford $10,000 a second. And if I just do it anyway, then Court TV could literally find me and charge me. Let's see. Greedy. I agree. So the, oops, I keep clicking the wrong stuff, y'all. Sorry. I'm still getting used to this. So the decision to not have the opening statements, that's apparently a Connecticut thing. And I didn't know that till yesterday, but that's a Connecticut thing. And it's kind of crazy, right? Hold on, let me see. Let me look and see something. Ooh, I'm like zoomed in right here. Hold on, my cam. Let me try to unzoom myself. I'm like real zoomed in right here. Oops. Where'd I go? There I go. Oops. I love I'm just like, hey, y'all, just wait right here while I mess a bunch of stuff up. I'll be back. My cam. There we go. All right. I'm doing this because I've got to mess with something over here for a second to see if I can fix something, and I don't want if I mess it up. What about doing it on Discord? Yeah, somebody had asked me about possibly doing it on like Discord or Twitch or something. One of those other ones that I think Cajun set me up an account for that, but I've never actually done it because this old dog can only learn one new trick at a time, and I haven't learned how to do it. But I'll try to figure out what the options are. I mean, if nothing else, while we're watching this, I can keep it on in one ear and, give all of the updates that we need and stuff. Let's see. It makes your crash courses all the more helpful, to be honest, Brandi. I don't know if you have them linked in the description, but I've sent lots of people to them. Thank you. I've got a lot of positive feedback about them. They take a really long time to do, which is why I haven't been doing many of them lately. But that's what I started doing. I started out my YouTube channel doing those like videos, but that were like not just the background ones, but like the recaps of the trial stuff. So, but they're just very, very time consuming. Very time consuming. But that's okay. It's worth it for y'all. But also, my stuff that I do is very time consuming because I spend so much time researching and trying to fact check. I watched some stuff about this trial around the internets, and there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of wrong stuff, and I don't want to be one of those, especially on something like that. I know that like when we're talking, like especially when my mind gets to going, there's been times when I will, say the wrong whatever. And like, my mind can, that ADHD be ADHD and I can say the wrong thing or whatever sometimes. But on any of the stuff that is my, like my important information, my stuff like that, like I want to make sure I'm fact checking stuff. Let's see. I'm sure there are a few people that would not hesitate to turn you in. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Just saw another video last night of Courtney Clenny attacking Christian. I saw that too. Let me see if I can. All right. We're about to see if I can do what I learned yesterday. New source. Oops. Oh, let me try to see if I can do this.
If you live in Florida.
Whoa.
Hi, everyone. Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise. On December 14th, 2012,
What is that? Who is
my
that?
7-year-old son Daniel was shot to death in his first grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
What happened? Where's
The
that
shooter
coming
shot and killed 26 individuals in about 4 minutes using...
I have no idea what I just did, and I have no idea how that popped up. Did y'all see that, or did I just see that? I thought I knew how to do the thing I was trying to do last night, but apparently not. This is why you don't try to teach yourself things at 4 a.m. All right. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. One day. You know what? I've been doing this for, 8 months now? 9 months, something like that. There's going to come a day when I'm just whipping through these internets and y'all are going to be like, look at her go. I remember when she was told multiple times a day to stop pressing buttons. It's going to happen. You just watch. You just watch and see. It's going to happen. All right. Let me see. Courtney Clinny. I'm just glad y'all saw it because otherwise I'd be like, all right, let's see. All right, here it is. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna, one day, I'm gonna be so fast at this. Okay.
You're hindering my progress. You need to sit down. You need to sit down. Let go of me. Let go of me. Come on. Let go of me. Okay. Come on, boy. Let go of me. Like, I can't even, like, I'll start to hit you later. Like, on me. You don't want to hit me? Christian, he saw me, and I know he's looking. I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with how you treat me. Oh, yes, I'm not mad at you. You let Malala say some lying that affected you. I didn't let her say anything. You did it. Hey, let's go to Malala right now. Let's pull up her. No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now. I dare you. Yeah, you dare me? Keep saying it. You do it. Then stop saying it then. Do it. Then stop saying it then. Then stop saying it then. Come on. Let me get my Ask her. Ask her, did I touch her breast yesterday? Instigated here. No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday when I... You did. I didn't say touching. You said I did. You were leaning. Yo, you were dumb as I actually don't agree with you. Actually, I'm done. Okay. Can you send him home? Yeah. Actually, I'm done. Okay, fine. Done. Because you're costing me money. I didn't do It's like I got this house because of you. You let my mom say some line ass. No, because of you. Florida three girls? What three girls? You?
Well, maybe it doesn't matter.
You. Milan. I was flirting with Milan.
This is Courtney Clenny. This is the OnlyFans one. I've been saying all along I was going to do this trial, but I think it might interfere with some of the other ones.
And she's saying, hey, come get your mans. She's trying to come home with me.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You're lying. She said, come get your man that I was trying to hit on Milan. Come on, baby. Okay. That doesn't even sound right.
Christian, you're fired.
It's fine.
Hopefully, shut up.
You never see me again. You are the most
good bitch. Shut
ever met in my life.
You are.
You corny.
You too. Get the out of here. This isn't your house.
Yeah, cool.
It's not my house. Like, you're just like my boyfriend. Get the out of here.
Just like your boyfriend?
I can actually get the down if you're not here.
Yeah.
Get the out of here.
Okay, I'll remember that next time.
Get out. No, that's not even the next time. Get the
Stop touching
Get out.
me. Don't touch me again.
Good thing, get out, bitch. Get out.
Bitch.
You never loved me. The way you talk, the way you treated the girls, and now you embarrass me. I don't want anything to do with you.
I embarrassed you yesterday. You're really just double conscious. You always talk about, oh, Christian, you like this. I say, what did I tell you before? You're the baddest person in this bitch. No one has anything on you. I tell you this every day. I have text messages that you say, Christian, thank you for the content.
Shut up! Now you don't do it the next day!
Why are you screaming? There's people in this house.
Get out, get out, get out.
So that's her. That's Courtney Clenny. She's the OnlyFans, what do you call them? Model? Are they considered models? She's the OnlyFans person. Who killed her boyfriend. Let's see. Let me change this real quick. They had a very toxic relationship. Very toxic. Like, really hard to watch, too, especially if you've ever been in any kind of domestic situation. Who sat there filming? There was somebody else in the house. He said that there was somebody else in the house. So I don't know if that was like a roommate or something that filmed that, but there's videos of her. There's like the police interrogation video of her is like 4 hours. I have this. They've been doing hearings on it. I know there was like a motion to suppress hearing and stuff like that. Let me see. Oh, look at her mugshot. Hold on. Well, I'm not going to show that actually because that's. Hold on. Okay. That's, there's, I mean, I'm muting it because but see, this is before, oops, let me move that. This is the video that they have of her before she kills him. So, but you can see her mugshot on there. I mean, this one's one of those that, exit out of that, that I've been kind of watching for a while, but, they had a very, very toxic relationship. This is so sad. Never heard of this case. Yeah, this one's, I mean, this has been going on for a while. This happened, Let me see when this happened. I mean, I know that I started following about a year ago. So let's see. I don't see the date on here. I think she's saying self-defense and stuff, but it's kind of crazy, right? The guy on the video that's Christian. That's her, was her boyfriend. That is the one that she is accused of killing. Oh my gosh, the toxicity of their relationship is equivalent to Dip from Roger Rabbit. You know, I've never thought about that, but that Roger Rabbit really is like the first that I ever saw a toxic relationship. That's actually kind of a good point. Didn't OnlyFans start out though as like, wasn't it supposed to be something that was, I thought I remembered reading this somewhere. It was supposed to originally be for like celebrities to do, like you could subscribe to them and they would kind of like a members only stream would be here. Wasn't it like supposed to be like that? And then it ended up being about your private bits and whatnot. And feet, apparently. Wild and out of control. Now she's in Only Inmates. Oh. Oh. Only Inmates. Maybe that's what Alec Murdoch was attempting when he took them nip pics, you know, of him laying in bed with his nips all out and whatnot. I mean, not my thing. That's what OnlyFans is. It's paywalled, spicy content in general. But wasn't it like created to not just be spicy content? It was supposed to be like kind of like members only things. Yeah, I'm kind of grossed out now. I didn't need to think about Murdoch's nips before lunchtime. Oh well. All right. Trudy Martin, hello, welcome. With you all catching up on 1.5 speed. It won't take long to catch up. They didn't do a whole lot today yet. I mean, the spiciest that this channel gets is when Lucy lays out all spread with her business. It's about as spicy as it gets. Although it could have been bad this morning when I when I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on and it was capturing the last moment from last night or early this morning when I was on here working on that stuff. So do they still have the non-spicy stuff? They're having a pretrial hearing soon on her previous arrest coming in. Probably no trial on Monday, correct? I don't think we have trial on Monday. They are taking a recess to discuss the objections or the motions about the pictures and for the luminol testing and all of that good stuff. The luminol testing and the pictures that were taken in the garage and the evidence that they're going to bring in with the next witness. Because they've only got one more witness today, and they expect that one to be up there for a while. Is Lucy snoring? Lucy snores a lot. I tend to look, the thruple trial had me blushing. I think the worst was Shabusiness. Lord help. Lord help. Tiffany Carter, yes, hello. This is day 2. This is day 2, and we're just fighting. They're fighting everything. Motions on motions on motions. Here. Look how foggy it is. When I look out my window right now, I can't even really see the water because there's so much fog. It's crazy. Is there a trial date set for Courtney? There was. Let me look at my calendar. I had one on here. Let's see. You know I get all that stuff confused. Bookmarks. Calendar. Let's see what we got here. All right, so next week we have we're gonna be doing this one, of course. We're gonna live here for a hot minute. But we also have Lori Vallow pretrial hearing on Thursday of next week, but it starts early, so we'll just do that before we get into this. Oh, wait, maybe. I might have to change my appointment. I think I have an appointment set for early morning on Thursday. I'll call at lunch today and see if I can change it to a different day. I didn't think about that. Let me write that down. Oops. And then also Thursday, there's a Karen Reed hearing. Oh, and our very own True Crime Ranch is going to be at the Lori Vallow Daybell hearing. Ooh. Interesting. I love having inside scoop on what's happening. Let's see. Shanna Gardner has a pretrial hearing on February 2nd. Brooks Huck has pretrial on February 8th. Ruby Frank was scheduled for sentencing on the 20th. And the 21st, Vallow has another one. All those in February. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. I don't have Courtney Clenny on here, but I thought I had her. Oh, I think I had her on here and then they delayed it again and then I took her off. That's probably what I'm thinking of. So, I don't know. I just put stuff in my calendar and then try to keep up with it. Can we catch up on Lori Vallow in this one lunch break? Yes. There's not a whole lot to catch up on with her right now. Oh, Donna. I need to add Donna too. Donna Adelson. I'll add her to my thing too. She, her hearing where it got canceled, where we had our tornadoes and everything. Florida had such bad weather the other day. It got rescheduled. I need to add that. Adam Montgomery starts soon as well. Yep. There's all kinds of stuff going on. See, this trial is going to last a long time. But here's the thing about this trial. Right now, it's all of the, like, a lot of it is stuff you already know. You know what I mean? Like, I did that, video on the background of everything. So we already know that there was blood in the garage. We already know that, she was caught on camera at all these times. We already know all of this stuff. So like these first few days are a lot of like the foundation stuff. But after that, after we get through some of this, and even probably some of today, we might hear some more stuff about like things that we don't know. But like yesterday was a lot of stuff that we already kind of knew. So it wasn't like earth-shattering stuff. After the first few days, we're going to start getting into some of the evidence that we haven't heard. And that's what's going to be really interesting, because there's a lot of evidence that they say that they have against her that we haven't heard yet. So I am ready to hear all of that. I want to know what they have that had them able to up her charges, you know? Yeah, Coburger is going to be a big one. There's a lot of big ones coming up. Oh, you mean going up? Oh, instead of rearranging my appointment. Oh, well, she has a hearing Thursday morning. But I'll see. It's worked out really good that this one doesn't start until 9 my time, because I get a little bit of time in the morning to get stuff done. I sent you an email about info on Brian Walsh trial. The biggest thing about the Brian Walsh trial is comparing it to what they consider credible in that case compared to what they consider credible in the other one. Craziness. Let's see. Oh, Vallow is in a different time zone, so it may not be early for you. Let me see if I put what time zone that was. I had it down for 8:15. Let's see. January, Vallow. I have it down for 8:15. I didn't put if that's, I think that's their time. My time? My time? I'll have to look. Yeah, I don't know if I put, when I typed it in that it's at 8:15, I don't know if I put 8:15 my time or if I put 8:15 their time. Judge put an order on the media. Nobody is happy in BK case. Yeah. I agree. As of right now, I've seen nothing regarding Michelle. Feels like a trial for Fotis. Yeah, and that's what's interesting about this too, and which is why I say, like, I can't wait to hear what they have against her. And which I know that part of that is laying the foundation. Like, in order for her to be a conspirator of the murder, they first have to prove that he... Because this is... The interesting thing about this one is, this is almost like 2 trials in one. Because Fotis isn't here, obviously. So with him not being here, they have to first prove that he murdered her and then prove that Michelle conspired in it and helped cover it up. So it's almost like, which is probably also part of the reason why this one's going to take so long. This really is kind of 2 trials in one. So very interesting. Right. I know y'all are an hour behind me, but I'm saying when I wrote it down, I don't know if I wrote down accounting for I don't know what time zone I wrote down. I just have to look it up and see what time it starts. That's all. If it starts at 8:15 Mountain Time or if it starts at 8:15 my time. We'll see. I wonder if they have some incriminating text between Fotis and Michelle. That's kind of the stuff, a lot of the stuff that I want to hear, because I know that they said that they had extensive evidence showing that there was a lot of pre-planning that went into this. And that's going to be the stuff that we sit here and, like, it blows our mind as we're watching it. And that's what I want to hear. Because, I mean, look, when it comes to, like, her covering up after the fact, oh, she guilty. Like, there's not, the way that she lied about everything, the way that she had, like, the, alibi notes, the way that she, I mean, all of that, like, she's, like, guilty. But I haven't seen anything yet that is convincing enough to show me that she was involved in the conspiracy of it. They say that they have it. I haven't seen it yet. There are things that I could see are suspicious, like her, she went by the storage unit, before she went. She had like 2 in-person meetings with friends that day, and then also went and like took selfies at another place and was telling them, when they asked her where she was like, oh, it's substantiated, I was here, which is a very weird answer. So there are things that like look suspicious, but also not enough to convict. Not even enough to charge. I mean, let's look at Wendy Adelson. I mean, you don't talk about suspicious interviews, like, hello. But not enough to convict, not even enough to charge. So I'm curious to see what all they have. And when that stuff starts coming out, that's what's going to be really interesting to me. And if none of that comes out, then they're going to have to acquit her. Or at least for the conspiracy to commit murder. I don't see a snowball's chance in hell she's going to get acquittal for tampering with evidence and hindering an investigation. But not change the subject, was what is going on with Zach Anderson case. I am not sure, but I know that last night when I started to lay down and take my nap, there was a live from MLS was on there doing a live on an update for it. So I didn't get to watch it because I laid down, but I know he has one if y'all want to check him out. The Zach Anderson verdict bothers me. This is one that a lot of people are split on. That was one of the first cases that, or trials that I did the recap videos on. And that one, there are a lot of people who are very adamant that he is innocent. I feel like the jury got it right. And Lord knows that that group has attacked me because of it, but that's why we have 12 jurors and not one. Other people think that there's no chance in hell he did it, and that's okay. You know how I am. We can all think different things. But it's interesting how split that one is. Hey, Kathy. Kathy, I used you this morning to see if my headphones were working, and everybody heard your voice coming over the stuff. Zach Anderson's appeal bothers me. I thought he was clearly guilty. Yeah, I mean, let's do a poll, because that one is pretty split. Let's do a poll on that one. If only vote if you watched it, but. Okay, do you think the jury got it right with Zach Anderson trial? Yes or no? Curious. Yeah, MLS has all the info on Zach Anderson. I've not watched the trial. It seems to be it does seem to be controversial, which is confusing to me, because to me it wasn't controversial until after the verdict came in, and then I mean, I saw some stuff on Twitter, like with the he's not guilty stuff, but a lot of that happens during the trial, but then afterwards, like that, it became so controversial. I was surprised at how controversial it was, because to me, like, I personally, but I watched that one. Now, that one I watched as a juror. I didn't watch the pretrial hearings. I didn't do any of that. That one was like a 13th juror video, like watching it as the jury. What did it for me is the DNA in the back of his van. And then really that was the biggest part for me. Let's see. That's what the ID show on their show. Fotis had left phone at work location. Michelle was there with Fotis' friend. Had someone call his phone to make it appear Fotis was there. Yes, I put all of that in that video too. That was the friend from Greece that he had, like longtime childhood friend. He had arranged for him to call him at like 8:25 that morning. Michelle was in there with Kent in the home office, and that phone call was answered. And I think I even said it in the video, like that. It looks like an obvious attempt to provide an alibi. Like, oh, if I answered this 17-second phone call, then I couldn't have possibly been over here doing all this dirt. Streamlabs. Y'all, for whatever reason, anytime there's not a space after a period, it thinks that you're trying to post a link and it times you out. And it did that before for a while. And I think it hasn't done it for a long time, and now it's done it again a couple times. And I don't know why, but anytime if you type a sentence and then like with a period or whatever, you have to put a space, or it thinks that you're trying to post a link. Justice says, just as devil's advocate, if you have a body in the back of your van in a rug, how do you clean up so well that there's only a pin-size head of DNA in the whole thing? Well, I mean, the carpet was gone and everything from back there too. And then like the burnt items in the fire pit, having the fire in the rain and stuff like that, like some of that stuff is like suspicious, but what really did it for me was the DNA in the back of his van. But I have a whole I have a playlist on that for the recap stuff. Let's see, RA interviewed his brother, and even though they brought a couple good points, RA still thinks the jury got it correct. Yeah. Monkey Stephens, I got banned permanently from a decently large channel's chat for agreeing with the jury the other day. Oh, really? The sentencing was today. I'm glad that 13th Juror Chat is such a good place to discuss questions. Oh, wow, that's interesting. You got banned for... I mean, some people, like... I get passionate about certain cases, too. Obviously, you know, y'all have seen that firsthand. But I would not ban anybody for disagreeing. Now, I banned some Melly folks in a heartbeat for... That was the worst troll trial I've ever done, which is the whole reason I said I wasn't going to do the second one. I'll watch it. Like, I'll follow it. Because I spent so much time working on it. But I'll do that, but I ain't streaming it. I ain't bringing that mess on myself again. My mental health is too important. Let's see. Fire pit in the boots, yeah. And when they're cleaning like tops of bleach bottles or something in there too. It's been a while since I watched that one. I can't remember, but oh, Hosea was on film hitting the Walmart murder aisle. Yeah. And they said the defense's side of that was that was like COVID time, so buying, and he did like contractor type work, if I remember right, so that was how they explained that away. Nurse for God, thank you for the super chat. Brandi, do you think the Kit Martin's guilty was correct? I watched the whole trial and think his ex-wife framed him. Kit Martin's. Wait, why can't I picture who that is? Hold on. Let me look. Christian. I don't know. I didn't watch all of that. That was the pilot, right? The triple murder conviction. I didn't watch that one. That would be a one I would want to go back and watch at some point. So I can't give my information or my input on that one because I didn't watch it all. I saw very minimal stuff on that one. But thank you for the super chat. Melanie says, I would bet my life that Zach is innocent. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are people who are without a doubt convinced that he is. I just am not one of those people. Have you listened to the podcast Wrongful about Zachariah Anderson? It changed my mind. I'm not sure if he's innocent, but didn't get a fair trial and plenty of reasonable doubt. I respect different opinions. I respect different opinions too. Y'all, we can all love each other and not agree on different things, but I have not listened to it. I will put it on my list. Stuff to listen to when I'm walking Lucy. I joined during Melly. I was scared to make any comments. People were mean in that trial, weren't they? It had some of my highest ratings. Like, as far as viewers go, some of it did, but I would rather have very few people in here being nice to each other than to have thousands in here being buttheads to each other. I don't like that. That's not my thing. That is not my thing. So, Melanie, I'm curious, why with the DNA spec thing in the back, what would be the explanation behind that being there? See, this is what I love too about having people who do feel passionately about different sides, because we know how to talk to each other up in here. So we get to actually hear stuff. Hear different views from each other. Hi, Lucy Bowers. Nancy D, hello. So mad about verdict for William. She only got 10 years today. OMG, you got to listen to Wrongful podcast. The trial was so askew. I will have to listen to it. Chrissy Bacon gifted a membership. Oh, we have movement in the courtroom. Chrissy Bacon, thank you, thank you. Let me put my little foggy beach cam down here. Thank you, thank you. Rona says Kit Martin is innocent. Samuel says, I didn't agree with the jury on Kit Martin's case either. I guess I'm just a wild card. The mom in the cold case was found not guilty, not innocent. There's a difference. There is a difference. Not guilty means that it was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And there are some times when I feel like I've watched stuff and I'm like, that should be innocent. And there's sometimes when I'm like, dang, they did it, but it's got to be not guilty because they didn't prove it. My instinctive, like, I always compare it like to the civil trial stuff. Like if you're watching a civil trial and it's like, okay, well, it's more likely than not that this happened and that's your burden of proof. That's a whole lot different than a criminal trial where it's like beyond a reasonable doubt. Like if there's reasonable doubt, then you can't risk convicting somebody that, you know, there's chance they didn't do it. But if there's no reasonable explanation, like, or no reasonable doubt after all of this stuff comes together, then I've seen some people get acquittal and then watch them thinking like, they did it. They did it. Where can we find replays of the Kit Martin trial? Asking for a friend who has nothing to do at the weekend. I don't know. It's probably on either Long Crime or Court TV stuff. I'm mod for a few channels, so it always weirds me out when I get banned for things. I think a lot of the time it's people having a bad day. Probably, yeah. What's happening now currently? We are still waiting on them to come back. They have left us to do recess while the court looks over these motions. All right, poll results. Uh, 68% say that they believe that the jury got it right, and 31% say that they got it wrong. So that one is split. Nurse for God says, I believe Kit Martin is innocent. Go back and watch the trial. I might have to watch that one if that one's one that... Like I said, I didn't really watch much of that one. I didn't watch any of... Let me rephrase. I didn't watch any of that one. I didn't watch much coverage of that. But as far as the trial, I didn't watch the trial. So with all the evidence in the Melly trial, how was that jury undecided? From the stuff I read from jurors, there was really one main one who was like, nope, 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 not going to convict him. And then I think the article said, it's been a minute, I think the article said something about they convinced two others that there was doubt or something, and it ended up being the hung jury. But keep in mind too, all of that research that I did, all of that stuff, the jury didn't get to hear everything that we did. So there's a lot of stuff that they were not allowed to present to the jury in that trial. Can't watch anything about Gypsy. It makes me feel grungy and have to shower after I see her. So here's my thing about Gypsy. Remember when we talked about how she was about to get out, and I was like, she's like, I know what it feels like to be like a prisoner of your own health, but to feel like a prisoner of your health because of your own mother putting you through this, I cannot even begin to imagine. And then, I said, like, I can't imagine what she went through. And like the emotional duress that she was under at that time. So, and then to go to prison. So I feel like I was like, okay, this will be the first time that she's ever actually been able to live her life. And, and I'm hopeful for that. It's been kind of a circus though, since she got out. It's been really circusy. She reminds me of like that, like, I don't know, in college, like when I remember like being like a, junior, senior in college, whatever. Like I remember like that first, like August and September, when like all the new freshmen would show up on campus, and it was the first time they'd ever been out, like been able to like go do whatever they wanted to without their mamas giving them a curfew and stuff. And you see like all of these freshmen, running about, acting like, crazy people and doing all this stuff and not knowing how to act because they've never had the freedom to do that. That's what she's reminding me of right now. Is a like college freshman on the, first month of school. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if that's a bad comparison, but that's what she reminds me of. Is that weird? Trying to see if I can find out anything about where they went or if they're coming back. I don't see anything. I need to brush Lucy's hair. She goes to the groomer tomorrow. Nikki says, Brandi, did you hear about what Portland did the same day or something that the mistrial came? He had a drawing of the juror's location and stuff. Yeah. The drawing of the juror's location, they found like hand drawn or whatever, like, and talking about it. Yeah, that. And his attorney had been in trouble for, or been accused of jury stuff before, like jury tampering before, and her, I think it's like her assistant that had been like disbarred in another state for that. That's what I don't like about this trial, because we didn't see any pretrial motions regarding what's being let in and out, etc. On this one, we can watch them. Something really loud just happened next door. Ivy says she's gone from her mother's captive to prison's captive and now her husband's captive. Yeah. Hopefully it calms down. My kid is like, he and I are real close, so he'll talk to me about stuff, and he's like, why does everybody care about Gypsy Rose? He's like, why is that all I see in my feed? I was trying to explain. Angela Reed, oh my gosh, someone sent me a month's membership. Thank you. I don't know what it really means or who to thank, but I think it's a good thing. It is a good thing. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I don't think that she's intentionally that way. She has never had a chance to not have that type of role model. I don't like that media is making her into an influencer. She needs support. I agree. And maybe it'll calm down, maybe. Like, she's never been free to make her own decisions or do anything. So like, she needs somebody like supportive who's truly looking out for her best interest to tell her, you know what? Maybe talking about, the husband's being fired isn't the move. That's not the move. Like, she needs somebody who cares more about her well-being than they do about the coverage that they will get through her. And I don't know that she has that right now, but I sure hope that she either does or she finds it soon. I am not following the Treehouse murder trial, like, other than just your coverage. Normally I'm able to follow a lot at a time, but it's been a little harder these last few weeks to keep up. Lucy's snoring again. She's just a snoring. Next door, well, you have to testify. Mr. Bill's always dropping stuff and doing stuff. They're on recess now until 2? What? Hold on, let me see what I can find out. Let me pull up the... Oh, yep. The reporter in the courtroom said recess is extended until 2 p.m. 2 p.m. All right. So that's a long time. So what we're going to do, this actually works out for me because I'm really tired. So I'm going to rest for a little bit. We'll do an afternoon stream. So if it's set for 2, we'll come back about 15-ish minutes before. Because it's only 12:39 there now. So we'll do that. That gives me time to take a little power nap and run an errand. All right, I'm going to direct y'all. Let's see what I can do. Oh, and y'all, our subscribers now are at 14,691. So we only need 309 more. Is that right? My math ain't mathing. My math is mathing. Maybe. 309 more. That's awesome. Yeah, they never came back. They're going over all of that stuff and then to make a decision, and then they are going to then they're going to come back at 2. I guess I went ahead and sent them to lunch too. All right, let's see. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oops. All right, we're going to raid RA. I've got it set up. All right. So, not 1:45 my time, 1:45 Eastern time. They've extended it till 2 o'clock Eastern time because this is an Eastern trial. So we will come back about 1:45 Eastern. Alrighty, so I am going to take a break and rest a little bit, and I have arranged to portal y'all over to RA. So we're going to go raid RA. Make sure you hit the like button, show them support, show them love, and I will come say hi for a few minutes and hang out over there for just a minute before I take a nap. So I will see y'all. It's 12:42 right now. So that's about an hour, right? 42. Yeah, about an hour. All right, I'll see y'all in about an hour. Thanks for reporting to your duty.